Hey, it's Madison Chase with Black Hollywood Live, and I'm here with the beautiful, talented, on the new show, Born Again Virgin TV One star, Danielle Nicolet. I wanted to call her Nicolet, but that is totally not right.
Everybody does. We just had a whole conversation about silent T's.
It's a silent T, so here's the silent T. That could be like a cute little nickname.
Oh, I like that. Silent T, I'm rolling with it.
Now, your character, I was telling Tank and Eva, and I know Brayley Evans really, really well, but I'm actually a real virgin. And so I've been doing a lot of content. Everybody does that.
Oh, honey, no! I'm doing that because there's a whole episode about that. I don't want to give it away, but you need to come down when we're shooting it.
I've been talking to D'Angela Sneed, who I know very, very well, because I used to train D'Angela. Well, I used to work with D'Angela and Nia Hill when she owned Strange Fruit Films, and so she's like, Madison, maybe you could.
Oh my gosh, you have to.
I totally want to.
There's a whole virgin group thing that's gonna happen. It's so great. This is kismet.
Okay,
this is virginal kismet.
I totally want to be there, so yeah, I can be myself. Okay, now tell me about your character, because I feel like so many women get to this place where you are as your character, where you feel like, I want to do something different, because what I'm doing with men and relationships and dating and sex, it's not working. So how is that? You don't have to talk about your personal life. You could strictly focus on the character, or if you want to share personally, it's up to you, however you feel.
An open book.
Okay.
I think that in my own personal life in the past, before I was in a committed relationship, and I think the same thing for Jenna, like there's an element of confusion that often happens for women once we actually have sex with a man. And then
what is that for you? Because I think it's interesting, because people are like, Madison, how can you talk about sex? And so this guy that I'm dating, he's actually sitting out there, and he was like, how can you talk about something so definitively when you don't know it? For me, it's kind of like sex is like a scientific thing. It's like the parts and the way it works is very scientific, because it's not emotional for me anymore. It's not now. Until I actually do it, then maybe it'll have a different conversation. Right. So finish your thoughts.
Well, I mean, I think it's funny because it to me, it's scientific, but it's because I think it's very primal, and I think we as women, and you know, this is no judge on men or women, we all have this kind of primal thing, and I think we can't help but have this, you know, emotional connection that happens when we have sex with men. No matter how much we try to tell ourselves it's no big deal, and I don't care if he calls me tomorrow, and I don't need him to ask me to stay the night, and all of that stuff, we still feel this connection, and sometimes that connection makes us crazy, and then we act crazy, and we act outside ourselves.
You're talking to the guava. Go ahead.
And we do stupid things, and we sabotage what could be really great relationships with good guys, or much more like what Jenna did, and what I certainly used to do, which is take a total junk guy and start sleeping with him, and then somehow all that like oxytocin kicks in, and the next thing you know, you're convincing yourself that he's Prince Charming.
Right.
Like, no, Prince Charming is like a crackhead who lives with his mom. But somehow, once we slept with him, he seems like a totally redeemable crackhead, and his mom is lovely.
And just that right crusty stuff around his mouth. He just needs a little chapstick.
You know what he needs? He needs a nice girl like me to fix him up and make him right.
Yes.
It's what we all tell ourselves all the time.
And that's why I haven't had sex. Because I know that primal, like, I'm already a control freak, type A personality. And if you've seen Jane with a Virgin, because that's what I was telling Brady, she actually did my co-hosting thing that I do for AfterBuzz, where we talk about MTV Virgin Territory show.
Oh, right.
And there was like, you know, just kind of it was a different demographic, because it's easier to be a virgin when you're in your teens and your early 20s.
Sure.
It's an easier job, but I think it's funny when you talk about the control thing. Like, I know myself so well that I would probably be the crazy chick. So I'm like, I don't even want to put that on anybody, so I'm just going to keep this to myself.
I think we all do, though. I think it's not entirely our fault.
Right.
And you know, I'm sure men would disagree with me. But it's not entirely our fault. We have this connection thing that happens. And I think that, I'm assuming for you, I know for my character, it's about kind of finding out, can you develop an actual deep relationship with a man where you're connected and you can choose to commit to each other before you go letting the hormones out of their cages. And because all hell breaks loose.
It does. I already know that.
It does. All hell breaks loose. And you know, when you're in a good relationship and you're in love with somebody who is treating you right, then it's the best kind of all hell breaking loose ever.
Right.
But, you know, I think I'll speak for myself and say, sex held me back from breaking it off with really awful men on more than one occasion. You know, and who knows how many great men I kept out of my experience because I was so busy being focused on Yahoo.
Wow, that's so interesting. Because that's why I tell myself, and it's funny because when he watches some of my videos, he's like, how can you speak so definitively? Because I'm like, it's really just, to me, because it's not an emotional thing, it's kind of like a very scientific, it's very technical to me at this point.
Well, and you know what's really funny and ironic is when I met my husband, he wouldn't sleep with me.
Oh, that's interesting.
He completely rejected me for, it was a long time. I won't say exactly how long because everyone's idea of a long time might be a little different. It was more than a couple weeks. And it was interesting because from his perspective, he always says that he knew
that you were the one.
Yeah, that he knew that I was the one. Right. And he didn't want to screw up the way his man brain worked by treating me
like the hoe.
Right. So we dated. We saw each other every day for like 6 weeks, and there was no touching.
Wow. Yeah. That's interesting.
It worked out. It worked out. Obviously.
You got married. Yeah. We love it. We love it. Now, I've seen you were on the game.
I was.
And now you're starring in this show, and you're holding this show down. Yeah. So how has that pressure been? Because sometimes pressure can make you do great things, and then sometimes pressure can make you do kind of not so great things. I think I'm one of those people that kind of does all right under pressure. I think you're going to do great because I saw the teaser. Like, she is really good. You were like Sarah Jessica Parker in Sex and the City, but like the colorful 2015 version.
I hope so. My goal with this has been all along to really create a character that is unlike what we ever are allowed to see African American women be on TV, which frankly is reflective of me and my friends. I don't think we ever get to see African American women be fashionable and gorgeous and fun and funny
and together and have great friendships,
and quirky and silly. You know, we have these sort of very specific archetypes that are always recreated, and it's nice to see that be a little different. I'm doing my best to honor that. Like, I really want us to be reflected better on the show.
And you're doing an incredible job. So real quick, social media, where can everybody find you?
Oh gosh, okay, on Instagram, it's Miss, M-I-S-S, Dani, D-A-N-I, Nicolet, N-I-C-O-L-E-T. And Twitter is Dani Nicolet, D-A-N-I-N-I-C-O-L-E-T.
So you heard it here first, the Star Born Again Virgin, Danielle Nicolet. Don't put the T in there. I'm Madison Chase.
17.
This is Black Hollywood Live, TV One Born Again Virgin. Love